You heard that right, chat. Winds of Winter is definitely out. It's out right now. It's not actually. Yeah, I'd be so much more excited if it was. I'm just saying. But yeah, Dakota, we're doing around the regular time this time. I just here's the thing. I would have done it earlier, to be honest, but I did a bunch of audio stuff, playing with effects and trying to fix certain things because I don't know what happened in like when I first like moved my setup down here, and then when I like after House of the Dragon time period, right? Like when it ended, my audio just got very like echoey, and I was trying to learn how to fix it, and it like I kind of struggled for like 2 weeks of trying to figure it out, and I don't know how it sounds on stream because I haven't done anything on stream with it. I've just been working on it for videos, and so yeah, mix of trying to learn things, and then also I for the reread tomorrow, it's over an hour long, so I'm still working on it, which I'll have to do after the stream. But yeah, so busy day, busy day. Also, why I missed stream Wednesday as well last week because I just had a lot of school stuff going on. I have the honor of starting us off. Who is the prince that was promised, other than Stannis, of course? Well, I, for one, don't think there is a single person that is the quote unquote prince that was promised, right? I think it's going to be a fulfillment of multiple characters, right? I think it'll be like Jon and Daenerys. It could be like a mix of those two characters. I just feel like the way prophecy is done in George's world, I don't think it's going to come down to, oh, this one person is the hero, whatnot. I just don't think that's going to fit into that kind of generic trope. I just don't feel like George is going to go that route. So I don't think there is a single person that is known as the prince that was promised. Craster is Azor Ahai and the king beyond the wall. He will return from the dead. R'hllor wills it. Can't deny it. Can't deny it. Craster is out there, living, and he's just doing things. He's doing what he's got to do to survive. People hate on it. That's all I got to say. I get you. I get you. I firmly believe that Daenerys will not go mad in the books. Yeah, I mean, I think that George probably won't do it because of the show. I think the way it was received on the show might give him some, maybe I shouldn't do that, based upon how the show went. Now, I think if George was going to do it, there is all the things there to do Daenerys being Mad Queen. Just based upon the fact that he's already played with in the first book her feeling like she's going mad. And she didn't go mad, right? She was right in the end, but he could always bring that back up, right? A time where Daenerys was so focused on one thing that she believed to be the correct that she almost made herself feel mad. And so what if we have a scenario like that again, that this time Daenerys is wrong about those things, and so she goes mad because she so strongly believes in something from like a dream or what people are telling her, and that's what leads her to go mad. So I generally think that George can go either way. He's kind of set up both Daenerys to be kind of a tragic hero that's probably going to die by the end of the story, or, a person that was once the hero turns kind of to the villain. I think he could do either one. I think he's done a great job of setting that up for Daenerys. But yes, the book is out. I don't even know how to say your name. I'm just gonna say Flavio because that sounds cool. But The book is out. It's out. How long have you been asleep? Have you been sleeping for years waiting for Winds of Winter? In a documentary about Game of Thrones production, David and Dan admitted it was their idea. If they did admit that, I haven't seen any of that, so I'll take your word on it. But that's pretty interesting. It is a thought. It's kind of crazy because I think that when Mad Danny, before it even came out, I think that it was pretty popular, I think, in the community that Daenerys was going to go mad. I think that could have been something that they took from the fans, to be honest. One of the wildest things, they took that from the fans, but like nothing else. I believe Rhaegar and Robert get resurrected so Robert can cave in Rhaegar's breastplate again. Hey, it could happen. It could. What actually happens to Rhaegar's body? Do we know what happens to Rhaegar's body? Like, is he buried, or did he, his remains go to ash or whatever, like the Targaryens usually do? Like, what happened to Rhaegar's body? Because you got to think Robert kills him, and then what occurs there? Does like he parade him around like Walder Frey, does, or like what happens there? I need an answer on that. I think Dany might be Nissa Nissa, and Jon will kill her, and her death might end magic in the world again, including the others in Euron, because she also brought magic back in the world. I think that's a great theory, right? I think any theory that involves more than one character fulfilling the prophecy to either defeat the others or stop the others, whatever, I think is a good theory. I just don't think it's going to be one person that's like the hero or whatnot, which is weird because it feels like the show was doing that right as well. Like they were having like, it was a joined effort of Daenerys, Jon, Arya, whatever, to kill the Night King, and then they just fumbled it pretty badly. But yeah. They did take that theory from the fandom. Yeah, I figured so, because it was pretty popular. Even when I was first getting into like the Game of Thrones YouTube community, a lot of the videos I saw about Dany and speculating on her seemed like it was like Mad Daenerys. I have not seen the first episode of The Penguin, so do not spoil it for me. It's kind of crazy because I just canceled my HBO subscription and I don't want to renew it, so I think I'm going to wait till The Penguin's first season ends and then I'm going to get it back. So yeah. Not a Winds of Winter question, but what are the chances that Robert beat Rhaegar dishonorably? People were too busy fighting to pay attention to I mean, Delroy. So when I did my Robert's Rebellion series, one of the things I've talked about is Robert kind of like misremembers or talks like there's like the canon version of events that happens in World of Ice and Fire, right? Of how we're told it happens. But then they were also told that like a different thing happened with Robert. And so there seems like there's multiple accounts of how Rhaegar died. Right? Did Rhaegar die on horseback, and then was he dead just on impact, or was Rhaegar then on the ground like still alive, and then Robert, after Rhaegar had basically yielded, Robert then killed him? Because that would seem to add up more of what Robert kind of recollects from the situation. So yeah, I think it's something where you have a war going on. There's not going to be a lot of people that are going to have a great visual of what's happening between Robert and Rhaegar, because think about it, you're in a war, right? And you see your king and you see Rhaegar fighting, but at the same time, there's going to be people all around you trying to kill you, arrows flying. You're not going to be able to watch that whole situation play out. So yeah, I think it's very likely that maybe we haven't had the best sources. Maybe that people are misremembering what occurred there. That happens all the time. Whatever you want to believe for like the JFK assassination, people remember things differently that are scientifically proven that could not have happened, but people kind of remember things. I'm not saying like, because there's none of these conspiracies have any like validity to them, but I mean like there's a lot of people that just do not remember traumatic things very well. So Tyrion didn't do anything relating to the Night King. That's true. He didn't. I think the 7 Rhaegar died. All I'll say is Robert wasn't a great king either. Could have Robert and Rhaegar been bros under different circumstances? I don't think so. Robert and Rhaegar just seem like two completely different individuals, right? Like Robert doesn't seem to take anything seriously. He's there for, fun, enjoyment, tourney, well, not really tourneys, but war. Rhaegar isn't really like that. Like Rhaegar is described as more serious, more sad, kind of emo-ish. I don't think the two would have really gotten on together, even if the Lyanna thing didn't get in the way. Rhaegar would have been the best king, even though he was an emo. I don't know about Rhaegar being the best king, because he does make some very questionable actions, and he gives me like he thinks he has a very god complex. You know, that classic Targaryen god complex. I don't know. Dakota, I won't lie. I think JFK's, death is very suspicious. That's all I'll say on that subject. Maybe Rhaegar was mid Dragon Dream when the hammer fell. Possible. Do you think Jon will come back as a Wolfman, more angry and ruthless? I definitely think he could, Joey, because given the fact that Jon's going to be dead for a while and his like soul more or less is going to go into Ghost, it's definitely going to affect him, right? I feel like that definitely has to. And what we've seen so far with people coming back from the dead, they get changed. I think that will still impact him, even though it's not like him and his soul are both dead for like a while and they got brought back. It's gonna be a little different because we don't know how Jon going into Ghost after he's died, how that's going to affect him. I think it personally will kind of make him a little bit more animalistic. Rhaegar could have been bros with Ned. I could have seen it. I could have seen Ned and Rhaegar getting along a little bit. That's true. Rhaegar is viewed very differently by a lot of different people. That's one of the interesting parts about it. It is like for Daenerys trying to figure out, who her ancestors really were because she's only fed a certain point of view. I think Daenerys developing into being the best ruler of the Seven Kingdoms could have. Definitely. Could be the case. Don't know though. She's kind of struggling with the political game, especially in Meereen right now. Do you think there's any chance Dany turns east as advised by Quaithe? Tyrion may still lead her armies west on the back of Viserion, while Dany goes to Asshai and learns the world's greater secrets. So my problem with anything that takes Daenerys further away from Westeros is it feasible by the end of the book of Winds of Winter for her to be at least like coming close to Westeros or landing in Dragonstone? Because she has to. This is the thing. The goal has to be for George that by the end of Winds of Winter, Daenerys is now involved in the Westeros politics and we're getting into the end game. So I think anything that takes her east, I am very cautious of saying yes to, even though I think it would be really cool to see, because you got to think about so much other stuff going on right now. She's got to get through the Dothraki plot, right? You've got to get through, okay, she comes back. How is she going to deal with all these new people? Tyrion and Tyrion and all these different people, right? Then you've got to deal with, okay, she starts going towards Westeros. There's still, I assume we're still going to see at least Pentos one more time. I think her and Illyrio having a conversation makes a lot of sense. And Daenerys thinks about him as kind of a friend, at least. I think there's just so much that we still have to see yet with Essos, even going west to get to Westeros, right? So I don't know. I think the only way that I see her going to Asshai is if somehow there's some magic at Asshai that gets her to like quick teleport over to Westeros. I don't know. It just, to me, I think it takes it out of her journey, because you got to think about how many Daenerys chapters you already need to get to a established point. And you got to also remember that he has so many other plot lines that need a lot of chapters outside of Daenerys. So it's a tough one, but I would say no. Do you think Dany will die in Winds? No, I think she will die in probably Dream of Spring. So, do you think Quentyn the Dragon Lord returns to Westeros? No, Quentyn is going to be buried. And I hope we never see him again. Quentyn's dead. That's the end of it. Daenerys could cross the Sunset Sea and land in Old Town. The rest of the world map is just begging to be discovered. Yeah, but I don't think that's going to be Daenerys's play. Like, I just don't see that being Daenerys's journey, because think about how much like that would need to be focused on, right? He's rediscovering entire different, routes of travel. That could be a book in and of itself. Like, think about like book 2's plot of Daenerys, and then think about what that would entail, like what you just said. We just don't. I don't think George, unless he breaks it up into 2 books, he doesn't have the time, I don't think, to be having multiple chapters of Daenerys messing around trying to find a new sea lane or whatever. So I don't know. You see Daenerys fighting Euron or Young Griff first? I think Young Griff, personally. Do you think Viserys will be remembered as a bad person if Daenerys were to rule? Well, what do you mean by a bad person? Like, because the world already thinks Viserys is kind of just like pathetic. That's kind of how he's viewed. So if you want to say, okay, he's going to be viewed as pathetic, does that mean he's a bad person? I don't know. But again, like, I think he will be remembered as just being kind of an idiot. Just an idiot. I think that's how he's going to be remembered as. Sam will 1v1 Euron and make him run away. Well, Sam is the Slayer. Hi, Ashley. How are you? Also, Ashley, I played the Dumbledore death music at the beginning of the stream. That was a very ominous start to the stream. Viserys was a good man. Dany should be way more grateful to him. Her treatment of him reminds me of the ungrateful Ren. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one, Ruckus. I don't know. That's a hot take. Hi, Casper. How are you? Quentin's dead, April. He's dead. He's dead. He's been banished. Dany will first ally with Young Griff versus Euron, and Euron will kill Young Griff, and Daenerys kills Euron, and Jon kills Stannis. That's a lot of hot takes that I don't agree with. I don't agree with that. I don't disagree. I don't agree with that. I think Daenerys will be killing Young Griff. George is all but confirmed that there's going to be like a second Dance of the Dragons, and who better with Young Griff and Daenerys. So I think those two are going to fight. Yep. Meteorite is going to destroy Dorne. That is correct. Dany is going to teleport from Asshai into wherever she wants to. Maybe. Oh God, Dakota. Oh no. You're saying Daenerys is going to smash Young Griff? Don't love to see that. Hi Maz, how are you? Oh God, the only way Sam defeats Euron is by sitting on him and crushing him under his sheer weight. Hey, if it works, it works. That's all I'm saying. It's crazy the HBO president still thinks season 2 is good and ignores all the fans' backlash. Well, okay, here's the issue, right? Is for, I think, the casual audience, like the overall audience of the show, it's not going to be like as critical as, like, say, my audience or the Song of Ice and Fire community on YouTube, because I'd say we're a bit more critical of the show, and also the source material. And so I think if you were to ask most casual fans, I still think they would say the season was good but disappointing, right? So I don't know. They might have a point there. I just think that they ignore a lot of the problems with the show that could lead to, it's going to talk when the show starts getting, making less money. People stop caring about the show as much because of it getting very mediocre. That's when most people, like HBO higher ups, will then, say, oh yeah, now the show's not doing so good. Josh, I'm also not sure why we've gotten so much attention to Asshai, and maybe the original plan was Daenerys was going to go to Asshai. I just don't know how it's feasible, given that, if you've watched, I've made a video on this, like breaking down how many like chapters Daenerys has to have to even get through it and the difficulties of that. And I don't know how you fit Daenerys going into Asshai. She'd have to be such a dominant POV in the next book for that to occur. Like, she'd have to have like 15 chapters in the next book, maybe.
The Lannisters send their regards.
Bran, thank you for super chatting. I appreciate that. How do you think the North will resolve? Will Rickon survive? Will Rob's will be? Yeah. So I think that if you want to talk about like basically the end of Winds of Winter, I think it's going to be the North kind of retreating, because again, the North is not going to be rallied behind Daenerys or Jon or whoever because of the issue of Daenerys is not even going to be in probably Westeros until the last chapter of the book. So you can't really have like this big showdown with the others until at least A Dream of Spring. And so I think the whole northern plot will basically be about trying to get all of the North banded together, and that's going to take pretty much the entire book, right? Because you're going to have, I think Stannis will deal with the Boltons. I do actually think he's going to win, the Battle of Ice and the Battle for Winterfell as well. And I think the issue is going to come from is, okay, the others are going to make it through the wall. I think that's logically going to be because Euron is going to blow the Horn of Winter, or somebody's going to blow the Horn of Winter in Old Town. That is the horn that Sam has. That's kind of my theory. That's going to break the wall. So then you have the others coming through. The living, we're not ready. And also, who do we back for the North, right? Stannis is kind of avenged the Starks, but Stannis also, I think, is going to probably give his life defending the North against the others. I think that the very ending of the book is going to be Jon's parentage revealed. I think given that the North is going to be going south and you're going to have a lot of different things like coming together. One, you're going to have Hal and Reed when they go south to the Neck. I think that's where the logical meetup point is for a lot of people. It's going to be kind of the Neck. You're going to see Hal and Reed. You're going to see people that had Rob's physical will, or people that were at least know what Rob's intentions were. You buy the theory that that is Jon based upon the conversation Rob had with Catelyn. You would then get two different things confirming Rob for legitimacy. One through Rob's will, but also through Hal and Reed, who actually would have known what occurred at the Tower of Joy. You also, a third thing would kind of come into play as well, would be Bran. Bran, I'm assuming, has to be south of the wall by the end of Winds of Winter. And so his knowledge, whatever he's going to possess from Bloodraven, he will also have that information as well. And so I think Rickon, by the way, I do think he will survive. I just think that he will be recognized as he can't really be the leader. There will be, I think, until Jon is like made king of the North based upon all these different things coming together, it'll be like people ruling in his stead type situation, like a Wyan Manderly, Jon, whatever. And so, yeah, I think that more or less is kind of the North plot line broken down as quickly as I kind of can. But thank you, Bran, for the super chat. Appreciate it. All right, let me go back up. Need my water as well. Viserys was a horrible brother to Dany. I agree. I was thinking today, how many others do you think there actually are? 120, that group of 5 or 6 in the prologue? Great question. I would say I would say maybe like 20. I think that's a good number, but I don't know, right? Like, because if Craster's been giving them babies and all this stuff, like, I don't know. That's a great question. I think I would go like a low, like 20 number, Maz, but I don't know. I think Fagon dies in Wildfire in Sept of Baelor when he is to marry, are you trying to say Marjorie? I don't know what you're trying to say on the back end of there, but I think it's going to be younger of Dinah Daenerys. Euron and Darkstar 1v1 before GTA 6. That would be wild. That would be wild if we got to see that before GTA 6. And also, Darkstar has been named. Ashley just got excited. Cannibal has made an appearance unlike in House of the Dragon. It is known. It is known. That's fair. That's fair. My friends thought the season was great, but the finale was Edgefest. I could see that. Yeah, man. So like that's kind of where I'm at, right? Is I think that season 2 is much more highly regarded from the casual fan base than it is more like the, I guess, book fan base. Do you think we will see Darkstar seduce / betray Daenerys and wins like he did Arianne in A Feast for Crows? So if we do, Ashley, I will say I don't think it's going to be until Dance Dragons. Not Dance Dragons, Dream of Spring. because I don't think Daenerys is really going to have much interaction with anyone in Westeros until A Dream of Spring. But it could be possible. I like Darkstar does kind of could fit Daenerys' type. I'm just saying. It is possible. Do you think young Griff will join forces with Mace Tyrell and fight in Old Town? So the problem I have with it being Mace Tyrell and Mace Tyrell actually joining young Griff's side would mean that he would have to break his marriage alliance with Marjorie and Tommen. And that to me is a little like weird because Marjorie like is in a weird position. So like that's why I'm always thinking like if when the Tyrell forces, meet, young Griff and young Griff's forces, it's going to have to be something where like Mace Tyrell either stays out of it, he doesn't like go into this battle at all, or a lot of his like generals, his bannermen switch sides on him, which I think is likely given that we've already seen these rumors that Jon Con and the boys might have some friends in the Reach, aka the Peaks, maybe the Tarleys as well. I'm just saying. So, A Song of Ice and Fireverse, the reason I think that young Griff and Daenerys won't have a good relationship is going to be more based upon young Griff than it will be Daenerys. I think young Griff, he's this young kid trying to prove himself. And by the time Daenerys even comes over, I think he'll be on the throne. And so when you look at young Griff, he'll be kind of feeling himself. He'll be a little cocky. Can you imagine, like, I don't remember how old young Griff is. I think he's still very young, though. Okay? He's like teenage years. Could you imagine yourself, at that age, you're at the, front of an army and you're kind of, you're feeling yourself a little bit. I think he's going to come off as an asshole to Daenerys, and I think that's what's going to kind of create that issue. Also, you'd also have a situation where young Griff is already, been seduced by Arianne. So we'll see. How long does Barristan the Bold live? Does he die like... No, he better not die like he does in the show. Everybody's out here saying Barristan's going to die. He ain't going to die. He ain't going to die. The battle's going well for them. It's all good. They may get locked out by the Shave Pate, for Meereen. It's a little setback. But Barry's going to be fine. And then when they go to Westeros, that's when he's going to have a problem, right? Because I think he dies, and that's going to get a strong reaction from Daenerys, okay? He needs to live longer. He's got more information about Blackfyre stuff. That would be nice. Him not interacting with Jon Con or young Griff would be a tragedy, okay? He is not dying. If he dies, I'll be sad. I'll be very sad. Open it, the pages, and the first pages. Barristan dies. What do you think will be the general start and end points of Winds and Dreams? So I think the main point has to be that all of the different plot lines start to get into little groups where you only have a certain amount of plot lines. Like how in a Game of Thrones, right? The first book, there's not many plot lines, right? For the very beginning of the book, it's, Beyond the Wall. So the prologue plot line, Ned, the whole Stark family plot line, and then there's Daenerys. That's the very start of the book. I think it's going to be kind of like that. Like we're going to have to revert until we get, all these different plot lines or, into like one area or the other. So I think it'll be like Daenerys is going to get to Dragonstone. I could see her last chapter being, touching the sand of getting to the beaches of Dragonstone like how it was in the show. That could be an end point. Maybe the end point is her actually just being on the ships going to Dragonstone, whatever. That's one plot line. You're going to have all the Marine stuff, all the Essos stuff is going to be converted into that plot line, or it's going to be another one. Like Arya, all the Riverlands stuff, I think is going to start to, make its way to Jon and the Northern plot line. Or the Northern plot line, those plot lines connect, right? So you see, more of a united Riverlands, right? I think, you're going to have the Red Wedding 2.0 or the Revenge Red Wedding. That's going to occur. That's going to be able to allow for it to be, more of a stabilized Riverlands, right? Edmure put back in power, all these things. And so you're going to have like a couple different plot lines, right? You're going to have like a King's Landing plot line with like young Griff, whatever happens with Cersei. And then maybe you'll have like Sam in Old Town, and eventually he'll make his way up north. So I think the whole big point of the ends points of Winds of Winter and the beginning of Dream of Spring is condensing all of our plot lines. We can't have them all spread out all over the place. Dakota, make a treason statement about Aquafina like that again, and I will ban you. I will ban you for a day. How do you think Bran would become king and manipulating events? Kind of like it kind of seems like how it was in the show, but like it just didn't come off right. It would be him manipulating events, like allowing things to occur or looking into the future and realizing, okay, if this event happens, he becomes king. And I also think he's someone that if the North has a lot of power in this situation, they can just kind of prompt Bran up. And it'll be somewhat of a similar situation where it's like, okay, Bran knows all these things and all this knowledge, so he'd be great for a king. But we also have that other side of it where people don't like and wouldn't want Bran to become king because he can be kind of manipulated. Is he being controlled by the old gods? What's the agenda going on? So I think a situation like that could work if like Westeros is just completely kaput and Bran is put on the throne like that. I don't know. I've kind of gone back and forth on what if I think Bran becomes king or not, but we'll see. Ashley, do not love Dakota after what he just said about Aquafina. That's actually insane. Um, I do read minds sometimes, Ashley. It is a power. I started watching Rings of Power season 1 again, and I am enjoying it more if I consider it a new canon. Radical, I'm glad if you consider it a new canon. Season 1 is still the biggest piece of dog shit I've ever watched. So, yeah. I even tried watching season 1 from a without a lore perspective, and just it has so many plot holes. It's just illogical at every single thing it does. It just isn't. It just isn't. Exactly, Grease. Good people don't break alliances. It's known. It is known. I agree. I agree. Um, yeah, Radical. That's just what people do. People just are not very pleasant people, in my opinion. But I did post something on X forum. But yeah. Do you think Duncan Egg will have lore on Blackfire as we blame Donut King for starting those rebellions? I do think like if we get more Duncan Egg novella stuff, or even the show, we'll get more stuff on the Blackfire stuff. Like, there's just so little information we know about like the third Blackfire Rebellion or the fourth Blackfire Rebellion. Do you ever think, or do you think Dany will ever have children again? I do not, Delroy. I do not. We got a lot of discussion on Daenerys. This is good. We usually don't have a lot of discussion on Daenerys. Usually it's about the North or I don't know, Arya. I don't know. Hot take, but with the news that Duncan Egg Show will apparently be only 3 seasons, made my hype level go down since it might end rushed if they do Summerhall. So I actually think it's a good thing if they're only doing 3 seasons. That tells me they're just doing the 3 novellas, which makes sense. There's no other source material outside of that, and they'd have to make up their own stuff. So I'm actually kind of the opposite. I think Barristan should have a nice conversation with Jon about Rhaegar after Jon finds out who his parents are. Now that he'd tell Jon who his parents are just to fill in a few blanks after the truth is revealed. I like that. See, Barristan has so many opportunities that killing him off would seem just like, man, we could have had so many cool things. So many cool things could have been talked about. Oh my, we got some Megan Fox talk in the chat. Keep it in your pants. Keep it in your pants. Um, Jesus Christ. Ashley is talking about spanking Dakota. He'd probably like that, actually. See, I go down 2 sentences and I see Dakota's already. He's a disturbed individual sometimes, chat. Can we get some more love for Aerys the Second? I know he birthed the cringe lords, Dany and Rhaegar, but he was still. I don't know about that one, Chief. I mean, I can back you on Maegor being based, but I don't know about Aerys. I mean, he had a lot of cool dreams. He had a lot of cool things going on until Bloodraven or somebody started messing with his mind, and showing him shit, and then he got all messed up. And then people like Varys, just telling him everything. The guy doesn't need to know, it's like this, right? Let's say, it's just you and your friend have a little bit of a fight, and you're like, man, I hate that guy. You don't actually hate that guy, but like he just does stupid stuff sometimes. Bam, Varys reports that, and bam, your ass is getting executed. That's how you make a king go mad. Right there. Right there. I am currently really enjoying Rings of Power Season 2. I would say I enjoy parts of Rings of Power season 2, but then I hate other parts. It's like a very love-hate. It's like there's certain stuff I like. I'm like over in this camp. And then other stuff I'm just like, dude, do not show this on the show ever again. Why is it here? I am just bored when this comes on. I'm not even looking at the screen when this is on, really. And then also I put out a tweet after watching episode 6 that, it was just so inconsistent. It feels like different writers are writing different plot lines. And Red Team Review or Carmine responded to that, so that was pretty cool. That episode 8, apparently the last 15 minutes ruin episode 8, even though it's really good like before then. So that's not a good sign. But yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me try to read this. What do you think we'll see in the 6 episodes of Dunk and Egg? Okay, I struggled on that for a little bit, and I saw Joey's comment after that. Let me take a drink of water. Take a drink of water. I think we're basically going to follow the same plot as the first novella, but I think we're going to get added scenes, right? I think we're going to see stuff of like the behind the scenes of Maekar and his sons, and we're going to see, I think, Baelor and his sons. I mean, I think we're going to see more of the characters that are present at this time outside of just Dunk and Egg, right? Or we'll get more into the world building and stuff like that. Hopefully, good additional scenes, not bad additional scenes. Think of season 1. Season 1 of Game of Thrones and representation of the book. Kind of what I expect. But we'll see. Yes, Radical. I'll continue doing some little streams. And by the way, guys, if you are looking for my reviews, I do them stream-wise because I just can't. I don't really have the motivation to like even bother with making reviews on that show. I just don't have enough interest in it to do so. I want to know where Daemon Blackfire was going to build his keep in the Seven Kingdoms. I agree. That'd be cool information. Still don't have that confirmed. How would Barry know about Ashara and Ned? Well, he would know that Ashara and Ned had crushes on each other, and that's maybe it. I don't know. But here's the thing. Ashara is so irrelevant, George might forget to write about her, like he's done for like pretty much the entire series. Ooh, some Ashara fans are not going to be happy that I just said that. But oh well. Oh well. See, Ashley, we're always on the right page. That's all I gotta say. Here's the thing, Radical. It's all about money, you see. They wanted money, and so they did the Night of the Seven Kingdoms because it's already written. Yeah, and also it's not the most likely that George is ever going to put out, 7 novellas. I think we'll be lucky if he gives us like 1 or 2 more. We'll see. No, the Mad King was suffering from PTSD. That's true as well. It's true. And Megan Fox does some wild things. Yeah, that's all I got to say. Stop mentioning Craster. Now you're getting me bricked up. Oop. Keep it in your pants, Ruckus. Keep it in your pants. Oh my god, there's some wild stuff going on right now. A Song of Ice and Fireverse. That is a correct take. I like that take. Never will I ever watch Rings of Power after the first 4 episodes of season 1. Yeah, season 1 was pretty bad. I didn't have much positive to say about season 1. I'm definitely more positive of season 2, but I don't know. Penguin episode 1 is really good. That's great. Don't tell me nothing about it. Don't tell me nothing about it. I was hoping to see She-Wolves of Winterfell in season 4 of Night of the Seven Kingdoms personally. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Also, guys, let's throw this out there. 3-0 in fantasy, unless Brian Robinson Jr. scores like 50 or 60 points tonight. So, 3-0 in fantasy right now. We're scraping by because Cooper Kupp's injured and Terry McLaurin's been pretty ass so far, but we're scraping by. That's all I gotta say. Who do you think real-lives John, Bran or Mel? It's gonna be Mel, I think. Bran is way too far away. That would have to happen like way later in the book. Yeah, but here's the thing. Ashara doesn't matter, Maz, so like, why bring it up? Will there release? Oh yeah. So Winds of Winter, by the way, Truesell, or Truesell, is literally probably going to be one of the most anticipated book releases of all time. Like, it is going to sell real quick. I would guarantee that all the Barnes and Nobles will be doing all the sorts of marketing, like little events for it and stuff. I guarantee it. Like, I got sent, well, I guess I didn't really get sent it, but I was tagged in a post on Instagram from one of my viewers, and they literally had a sign. I think it was at a Barnes and Nobles. It looked like a Barnes and Nobles. It was the inside, but whatever. And it literally had Fire and Blood books, and it had a sign on it that said the book is better or the book was better. That's fun. I enjoy that. I enjoy that kind of stuff. That's what makes me feel good inside. Ashley, you're making me like read things that I just like, man, this is some crazy stuff coming out about Megan Fox. How do you see Arya getting to Winterfell? Joey? I don't. I don't think she's gonna make it to Winterfell. Now she'll get there after, like, the other's threat is resolved. Like, she'll see Winterfell again, but it's not gonna be in Winds of Winter. Do you think in House of the Dragon they're going to bring up or give backstory for the Green Men? No idea, Maya. No idea what House of the Dragon's trying to do, honestly. I could try to predict what they're going to do with certain things, but I couldn't even tell you. Like, because they've gotten so far away from what the book was that it's hard to predict on what they would do. I would assume yes, because they've made that like an integral part of the show at this point, like of the visions and stuff like that. So I'd assume so. I'm looking for the... Okay, Maz. No. We're not doing no Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, Dunkin' Egg crossover. No. I also really love the character of Penguin. I know that. I feel like that's a hot take, but he's like one of my favorite DC villains, and I don't really like DC much, but the Gotham show version of the Penguin is iconic. Okay? Iconic. Don't care what you say. The NFL football games already start. Okay, they already did, it seems. All right, well, we're gonna get close to wrapping this one up because I want to watch football, and I also gotta do some more video stuff. Go Steelers! Ashley, Steelers are 3-0. Their defense has been killing it. That's all I gotta say. Best defense in the league. I'm not a Steelers fan, but they got the best defense in the league. Yeah, Ruckus, there's a lot of fucky wucky stuff going on in Rings of Power. Radical. I think if they do a Robert's Rebellion show, I think it makes sense to start at the Summer Hall, the tragedy of Summer Hall, just based upon the fact that I think it is naturally where the beginning of Robert's Rebellion starts. So that's why I did my start of that, or my show based upon that. I started on Summer Hall and then worked my way down. I was a teenager when Dance came out. Now I'll be 30 in a few years, and Win still ain't out. That's wild to think about. Boy, that's wild to think about. That is, oh my god. Oh boy. I hope we could get at least one more 6 or 7 season show in Westeros one day. Maybe. Do you think Otto will die at Bitterbridge? And since Maelor isn't in the show, it's possible. It's possible. Also, Jaehaera could die there. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't even know. I have not seen Ruckus. I have not seen that. Robin Lord Taylor was a greatest Penguin. I agree. He was fantastic. Honestly, Ashley, I have no idea what my thoughts are on Jalabar Exo. I'm not saying his name right. I know that. There's no way that's the actual pronunciation of it, but maybe he'll finally get the help he's looking for. Maybe it just takes young Griff, who's going to be a great lad. Maybe he'll help him out. Delroy, it could be that we're misinterpreting the prophecy. I talked about this at the beginning of the stream, right? Prophecy could have been misinterpreted. Could be multiple people that fulfill it. What if House of the Dragon Season 3 casts Nettles? It'll be a cop-out because they've already basically gone away from that plot, and to me, it would just feel forced at that point. It wouldn't add up to the story logically unless Nettles, like, killed Rhaena, or for some reason Rhaena was fucking around with Sheepstealer, and then she goes to Sheepstealer's, like, cave or whatnot and finds Nettles, and Nettles is already the writer, and then just wouldn't make any sense. It just wouldn't. It just wouldn't make any sense. Aegon's Conquest better do right by Visenya. That's all I'm hoping for. They have to do right by 2 characters, in my opinion. Depending on what, like, how far we get into it, if we get the Dornish Conquest and stuff like that, Maegor cannot be fucked up, and Visenya cannot be fucked up. Everybody else, fine. But if they fuck up Visenya and Maegor, I'll be pissed. I'll also be kind of pissed if they screw up Aenys, because he's also integral to that story, but we'll see. Different thing. Whole different thing. See, here's the thing, Dakota. Sometimes I just, I just know you're gonna say something stupid nonsense like that after that. So I just like, internally, I just know, okay, let's just skip the next comment. Baseball is the one sport I don't like. It bores me last. I agree, actually. I used to like baseball when I was younger, like maybe playing it, but like watching baseball is not enjoyable to me at all. Also, I've said many cuss words in this stream, and Dakota hasn't said a single thing. That's all I'm saying. He ain't even doing his job anymore. But yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna, head off the stream. Got some stuff I gotta do, homework, video for tomorrow, and I want to watch football at the same time. So, see how that goes. But I will see you guys all in the next one. Also, Brand, thank you for the super chat once again. Dakota, thank you for the super chat.
And their regards.
I've never had liquid death, so maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll try it, Dakota. Maybe I'll try it. Next stream, maybe I'll try it just for you. We'll see.